everybody. Welcome to Simply Cards by Kathi. Today is Monday, April 22nd, 2024, and I have a really fun card for you. We're going to do a bookbinding card with a twist, and I'm not going to explain what that is to you. You may figure it out along the way. At the end, I will show you two more cards that are a little bit different layouts than this one, but I thought we'd stick with our Monday fun folds, so I'm excited to share it with you. So I'm going to flip this camera down and we're going to get started. Okay, today I am using the Garden Meadow stamp set in dies, the bundle. And I'm just going to use a couple of the smaller images from here and a couple of the dies that match and cut that out. This is such a great bundle, and it is an online exclusive. And it is paired with the, I believe it's Meandering Meadow Designer Series paper. Now, I don't have a lot of that paper left, but I'm waiting for an order to come in. But I want to share some of these designs with you. This is one of my favorite papers. I just think it's so versatile for just about anything. And I think the watercolor look in the scenery is just gorgeous. So there's that, and I think I have one more left to show you, this one. And then when you turn these over, you have anywhere from like brush strokes to clouds to some solids, even some watercolor looks. So really pretty paper. So that is what we're going to be using today, and we're going to get started. So I am starting off with a piece of Lemon Lolly that is 4 1/4 by 11. Now, don't worry about measurements because there is going to be a downloadable PDF for you. And that link will be right down below in my YouTube video description by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And the website or blog will go live at that same time. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer here so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to score at 4 1/4. So let's do that. Now, remember you have two blades on this, so I want to make sure that I get the cutting blade out. So score at 4 1/4. I'm going to slide it down to 5 1/2, and I'm going to score there. Now, we're not done with this yet, but I am going to move it out of the way for a minute. So here I'm going to fold. Now, I'm going to fold on the 5 1/2 line. I'm going to fold to the right. So remember, it's a bookbinding card. Now, this card portion or front portion needs to be able to open. So you're going to fold back on that score line. And I'm going to give that a good burnish. All right. But we're not done with the front of this card yet. So I'm going to bring my trimmer back in because we're going to score one more time. I'm going to take my card base and open it up. And I want to score, and make sure that you can see this. I want to score from the upper right point down to the bottom left fold in that 4 1/4 inch square. So I'm going to line up my point right there in my groove of the cutting blade, and I'm going to line up the fold in the groove of that cutting edge. So now I'm just going to score. All right, now we're done with this. So let me take this out of the way. So with this fold, you're going to fold it back on itself. And I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder. I want a nice, crisp burnish. So now this is what your front looks like if you weren't to open it. But we're going to open this up, okay? And you're going to see as we go along. Now, remember, this is a bookbinding card. So if you're not familiar with a bookbinding card, this little fold is going to get glued down to the back of the card base. So you can use whatever adhesive you're most comfortable using. I like the green glue mostly. And I'm just going to flip that down and give it a good press. And it'll adhere pretty quickly. That green glue dries quick. So here's your bookbinding card. The binding is sealed. And you still have this fold. Now, for the front of the card, you're going to take a piece of 4x4 basic white, and we're going to adhere it to the front here. Now, this is 4¼ by 4¼ and this is 4x4. And I only want to adhere it to this lower triangle in here. And I do want to have a nice even edge around the border so that I have a yellow border. So I'm going to lift this up and show you a trick. If you line up the corner of the embossed edge right in that score line with the score line in the lower left edge, you're going to get a nice even border all the way around. So again, you're only going to put adhesive or glue on this lower fold or the lower triangle. Now, you also want to put it in enough or a little high enough that you don't have, that you're able to get a nice edge around without the glue showing. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Give it a good press. And you now have a card that opens like this. So it can lay flat or it can open and you're going to have it like this. So there's our card base. Now we're ready to decorate and finish it up. So I have a piece of 1" by 4" piece of designer series paper that I'm going to adhere on that fold where the book binding is. And I'm just going to turn this because it makes it easier for me to line this up with the white embossed piece so that the edges it match. And I can slide if I need to. And that looks pretty good there. So there's that. Now for my front, I have just a piece of Highland Heather. I chose colors that, well, that isn't quite straight, is it? Let's see if we can still straighten that out a little bit. Let's see here. Okay. I hate when that happens. There we go. All right, that looks better. So I chose colors from the paper, a piece of Highland Heather and a piece of a blueberry bushel. And these are the colors that are in the designer paper. So I'm going to take this 1 by 3¼ piece and I'm going to adhere it over to the right side of my card front. And I'm just going to glue it down like that. And now I'm going to take my piece of designer series paper. This is 2¼ by 3 inches, and this is 2 by 2¾ inches. And I'm going to adhere this to my blueberry bushel. So let's do that. Now you can glue this down flat. Boy, I'm not doing much of anything straight today, am I? We're going to glue that down flat, or you could pop it up with Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's get that there. Okay, so you could pop it up. I think I might pop this one up. So let's grab some Stampin' Dimensionals and do that. I'm going to grab some of my larger ones here. I hope you had a good weekend and had some time for fun or relaxing, that you're able to unwind a little bit from the week that may have been busy for you. and we're off to a new week. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here with me and that you found me. I hope you'll like what you'll see and that you'll hit that subscribe button so that you get notified when I go live or post a new video. And if you're here with me during the live video or catch me on the replay, thank you so much for your support and being with me. I appreciate you so much. So there's that. Now, I want to stamp and add a little image. So we're going to pull in a piece of scrap paper here. And I have that little basket with flowers. I'm going to stamp it with Tuxedo Black Memento ink because I want to color it with Stampin' Dimensionals. And that's the ink that works best with alcohol-based markers. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp one more image, and they'll dry quickly. I do let them sit for a minute before I color them so that ink dries so I don't get any smearing. All right, so there's those. Now, I'm going to color just a little bit to show you what I'm going to do with these small images. But I did cut them out ahead of time. I'm using pecan pie for my basket. And for the pecan pie, I'm just going to go around the edge of the basket, around the leaves, and put in a layer of the dark pecan pie. I really like the way that looks. I'm going to add a little bit where there's some emphasis line from the stamp set. And then I'm going to come in with my light pecan pie, and I'm just going to blend that. And I love the way that, you know, when you have woven baskets, there is some variation in color. And I really like that. And I think with the alcohol markers, you're able to achieve some of those variations with the emphasis. So I'm going to come in with my bullet point here and just add a little bit for that handle. And then I'm going to come in with the leaves. I have a lemon lime twist, and I have the light one, and I am going to use the bullet point. And I'm going to pick this up. These are such small images. I'm not going to blend them. I'm just going to color them all one color, the leaves, because they're so small that I don't even think you'd really notice the blending as much. So just going to go in here, add a little bit of color to the leaves. And then I'm going to come in with my dark lemon lolly, again using the bullet point, and just color in the flowers. So just do one more. So they're easy images to color. Now, by the magic of TV, I have colored them and cut them out already. And we're going to use these to finish up our card. So with this tall one, I thought how pretty to kind of just have it here along the edge of the card. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back, but I'm only going to put them to the left side of the back because I'm going to have it lean on my panel here. So let's go ahead and do that. And just going to put them right along that right edge. Now, if you have figured out what type of card this is going to be in the end, leave me a comment and let me know what you think it's going to be. It's not just a bookbinding card. I will tell you that. It isn't just for bookbinding. So, but I'd love to hear what you think it is going to be. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And I'm going to just take the backs off here. I'm sure one of the pups will have them before I'm done because they kind of get all over the place, don't they? I love the way they make things pop and stand up, but I do find them everywhere. Let me grab my pick tool here because they're sticking to my hands and pull this last one off. All right. Now I'm going to set this right here and have it come right on. So you can see my dimensionals are over to the side, and this lays right on my panel here. Now, if you're worried about this picking up, you can certainly put a glue dot under it. You can put a dot of glue. I'm going to leave it because I think it's going to be okay. Now, for my greeting, I'm using a happy birthday greeting from the stamp set. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that also with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. Let's go ahead with this. And I am going to line this up as best I can and stamp. Okay. Now, I want this to go right across the top here. So I want to trim it just a little bit because I also want to put it down with dimensionals. So I want to leave enough on each side that I can do that. So I'm going to trim this down and let's see what we have here. And that looks pretty good. So let's put a dimensional on each end and then we'll pop this on. Now, I'm not worried about having a dimensional in the middle because this is going to lay across this panel here, and that'll give it some support. Could I put a glue dot on? I can. I'm going to put just a little dab of glue here, and I'm going to center this right on here. Pick it up a little bit. I want it to come down just a touch, and then give it a light press. Oh, did I not? I didn't take the back off that. Okay, so now we're able to give it a light press. Okay, so for the inside of the card, we're going to use another piece of basic white. It's 4x4, and I want to go ahead and adhere this one. Normally, I try to stamp, if I'm going to stamp a greeting, before I adhere it to my card base, but I'm not going to do that because you're going to see why in just a second. So we're going to put that on, and that looks pretty good. Now, this is going to be, if you haven't figured out, it's a twisted easel card. So it's a book binding twisted easel card. What a mouthful. So this is going to pop up like this, and we're going to use our basket right in this corner to hold this upright in place. So, but when you stamp your greeting, you want your greeting to be behind where this card is going to pop up because you don't want part of it sticking out. So I'm going to go ahead now and stamp my greeting. And my greeting is from the So Sincere stamp set. It says, "Hope your day's a happy one." So I'm going to go ahead and just ink this up. And again, I'm using my black. And we're going to give this, I'm going to push it up here a little bit and over to one side. And then we're going to take our little basket and I'm going to use some dimensionals on here and we're going to pop this up because this becomes the support for our easel card. And I'm going to put another one right over by the leaves because that card is going to lean against that. And I don't want the leaves to get bent. And that will give them a little bit of support. Okay, and one more. Now, you can put this anywhere you want it, but I'm going to give you tell you a secret. When I made this card a while back, I had put my greeting inside and I had put it on a diagonal and it held my card up. But the front of my card was more to the side than it was facing front. So I found that if I use a little bit smaller image, or if you use a greeting that you pop up along the bottom here, your card, your easel card, is going to face more to the front. So I'm going to turn it up so you can see it, but this is how it's going to sit. Now, and it's going to fit in a regular standard A2 envelope for you to mail. It can lay flat, or it is very mantle-worthy card. So really pretty card. Now let me bring in two more and show you. Now this one is very similar. It was one of the first ones I made. And in here, I used, I put the little basket on the outside, and on the inside, I used the larger ones. And you can see this one folds back a little more than the other one. I'm going to pull them forward so you can see. So you have a little bit more of a front view if you use something smaller than if you use something tall. So there's this one. And I did do a matching envelope for this one. Now let me bring in the third one. The third one is very similar to, where'd it go? Here it is. This one's a little different. I'm sorry. This one, I used the blueberry bushel, and I just did a strip across the center. I did cut a circle from Stylish Shapes. I ran some ribbon back and forth, and I used the basket for this one too. So 3 different layouts for these cards, but really a great, great fun fold. So let me bring you back to me. I hope you liked our bookbinding card with a twist. And if you figured it out, I'm not surprised once we were able to open that card and show you. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's an easy, fun fold. It's so much fun to do. Much possibilities. You can use it with just about any stamp set. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It helped me grow my channel. Feel free to share the video. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. I will be back with you on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock for more stamping fun. Have a great evening, everybody. Stay safe and well.